Shocking cheating wife story. Drained his college fund and fled with a conman. I checked our son's college fund to pay for his science camp, and my heart stopped. The account was empty, drained to zero. Then my wife's phone lit up with a text. Meet me tonight, babe. She was gone, and so was our future. Welcome to my cheating wife story. A tale of betrayal and a boy too smart for his own good. If this hooks you, hit like, comment, and subscribe to Viora for more stories that cut deep. My name's Nathan Harper, a 38-year-old architect running a small firm in Portland, Oregon. Life wasn't perfect, but it was good. A craftsman-style house, a solid nest egg, and a family I'd built my world around. My wife, Emily, was the spark. Charming, quick-witted, the kind of woman who could sell ice to a snowstorm. We met in college, married at 25, and poured everything into our son, Lucas, a 10-year-old with a mind like a computer and a heart bigger than both of us. I thought we were unbreakable. I was wrong. This cheating wife story isn't just about infidelity. It's about how betrayal can turn a child into something you barely recognize. Emily and I had our routine me-sketching designs late into the night, her managing PR for a local startup. Lucas was our glue, always tinkering with gadgets or begging for new coding books. We'd saved $60,000 for his college fund. Every penny a promise for his future. I never checked the account. Emily handled it. You're too busy, Nate, she'd say, kissing my forehead. I trusted her. That was my first mistake. The cracks started showing 6 months ago. Emily grew distant. Late nights at client dinners. New perfume. A locked phone she'd never had before. I'd read cheating stories on Reddit, the kind where the signs are obvious in hindsight, but I brushed it off. Stress, I told myself. Her job's intense. When Lucas mentioned her whispering on calls at 2 a.m., I said, she's just working hard, buddy. He didn't buy it. His eyes, sharp like his mom's, saw more than I did. The day it all broke was a Tuesday. Lucas was at school and I was home sorting bills. I logged into the college fund to transfer money for his summer program. The balance stared back, $0. My stomach dropped. I refreshed, thinking it was a glitch. Nothing. 6 years of savings gone. I called Emily. Voicemail. Texted. No reply. Panic clawed at me. Was it a hack? A bank error? I called the bank. The account was emptied 2 weeks ago, the clerk said. By Emily Harper. I sat there, numb, the phone still in my hand. Emily? My Emily? The woman who'd cried when Lucas won his first robotics contest? I dug through her desk, hands shaking, and found a credit card statement. Charges for hotels, dinners, a jewelry store in Seattle. None of it was for us. Then her phone, left on the counter, buzzed. A text from D. Meet me tonight, babe. Can't wait to start our new life. New life? This wasn't just a cheating wife caught. It was a wife affair exposed, and she'd taken our son's future with her. I've seen Infidelity Storytime videos, the ones where the husband finds a secret email or a hidden photo. Mine was Messier. I drove to Lucas's school, needing to see him to ground myself. He climbed into the car, his backpack slung low, and asked, Dad, why do you look like you saw a ghost? I couldn't lie to him. Your mom. She took the college money, buddy. She's gone. His face didn't crumple like I expected. Instead, he nodded, slow and deliberate. I know, he said. No? My 10-year-old knew? Lucas pulled out his tablet, calm as if he were showing me a homework assignment. I've been watching her, he said. And him. Damian Walsh, Emily's client from Seattle. A slick marketing exec she'd mentioned in passing. Lucas had hacked Damian's social media, don't ask me how, and found messages, photos, plans. Emily and Damian arm in arm at a rooftop bar. Emily laughing, wearing a necklace I didn't buy. Lucas had screenshots, timestamps, even bank transfers linking Damian to the missing money. I sent it to the police, he said, voice flat. Anonymously. I stared at my son, my mouth dry. This wasn't just a true cheating story. It was a husband revenge story orchestrated by a kid who should have been playing video games, not playing detective. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. He shrugged. You were busy, and I didn't want you to break. Break? He was protecting me. My 10-year-old was shielding me from my own wife's betrayal. That night, I went through Lucas's files. He'd built a digital fortress, encrypted folders, burner emails, a trail so clean the FBI would have hired him. Emily had been planning this for months, funneling money to Damien, who'd promised her a fresh start. The worst part? She'd used Lucas's college fund like it was pocket change, knowing it was his dream to study at MIT. I wanted to scream, to call her, to demand why. But Lucas stopped me. Don't, Dad. She's not worth it. We've got enough. Enough? I looked at him, really looked. His face was too still, too controlled. He wasn't crying, wasn't angry, just focused. Like he'd skipped childhood and gone straight to strategist. I'd failed him, hadn't I? By trusting Emily, by not seeing the signs, I'd forced my son to grow up too fast. This cheating wife story wasn't just about her. It was about what her lies had done to us. Then the phone rang. Unknown number. I answered, my heart pounding. A man's voice, low and sharp. You and your kid better back off, Harper. I know where you live. Damien. My blood ran cold. I glanced at Lucas, who was watching me, unflinching. He's bluffing, Lucas said after I hung up. I've got something on him. Something? What was my son planning? I was trapped in a toxic relationship story, and my kid was writing the script. The rain battered our Portland house, each drop a reminder of the storm Emily had left behind. I sat at the kitchen table, Lucas's tablet glowing with evidence of her betrayal, screenshots, bank records, her smiling face next to Damien's. My son, barely 10, had outsmarted a grown man's lies, but Damien's threat echoed in my mind. I know where you live. This cheating wife story wasn't just breaking my heart. It was putting us in danger. And Lucas? He was already 3 steps ahead, his face calm, like he was solving a math problem, not dismantling a criminal. I locked the doors, checked the windows, my hands unsteady. Lucas sat cross-legged on the couch, typing on his tablet. You okay, buddy? I asked, hating how my voice shook. He didn't look up. He won't come here, Dad. I've got his IP address. He's in Seattle, not Portland. IP address? I stared at my son, a mix of pride and fear twisting my gut. This wasn't the kid who'd begged for a drone last Christmas. This was someone else, someone forged in the fire of his mother's betrayal. I tried to focus to match Lucas's clarity. What's your plan? I asked. He tapped the screen, pulling up a map with a blinking dot. Damien's phone. I'm tracking it. If he moves, we'll know. I blinked. You hacked his phone? Lucas shrugged, like it was no big deal. It's not hard. He uses the same password for everything. I wanted to ask how he'd learned this, but the answer scared me. Emily's cheating stories had turned my son into a vigilante, and I hadn't even noticed. The next morning, I called my lawyer, Claire. Emily drained Lucas's college fund. I told her, my voice tight, and her boyfriend's threatening us. Claire was all business. File a police report. Get a restraining order. I'll start the divorce and sue for the money. Sue? The word felt hollow. Money wouldn't fix this. But I nodded, giving her Lucas's files, every screenshot, every transfer. Your kid's a genius, she said, scanning the data. Genius. Yeah, but at what cost? I didn't tell Claire about Damien's call. Not yet. Lucas had insisted we handle it ourselves, and I was too shaken to argue. That afternoon, he showed me more. Damien wasn't just Emily's lover. He was a con artist. Lucas had dug up old news articles. Damien had scammed clients in Seattle, funneling money through fake charities. Emily wasn't his first mark. She's not smart, Lucas said, his voice cold. She thought he loved her. I winced. My son shouldn't be dissecting his mother's affair like a case study. Here's where it twists. That night, my phone buzzed with a text from Emily. Nate, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this. Can we talk? My heart lurched. Sorry? After stealing Lucas's future? I showed Lucas, expecting anger. Instead, he smirked. She's scared. Damien's in trouble, and she's alone. Alone. The word hit me. Was Emily a victim, too? Trapped in a toxic relationship story with a man who'd played her? I pushed the thought away. She'd chosen this. Chosen him. I didn't reply, but Lucas was already typing. "What are you doing?" I asked. He didn't look up. "Sending her a warning. She needs to know we're not weak." My stomach churned. "Lucas, stop. Let the police handle it." He paused, his fingers hovering. "They're too slow, Dad." "I'm not." I grabbed the tablet, my voice sharp. "You're 10. This isn't your job." His eyes met mine, hard and unyielding. "Then why didn't you stop her?" The question cut deeper than Damien's threat. I had no answer. The next day, I went to the police. They took Lucas's evidence seriously. Bank fraud, theft, even Damien's shady past. "We'll look into it," the detective said, but his tone was cautious. "Don't confront them. Could be dangerous." Dangerous. I nodded, but my mind was on Lucas. He wasn't waiting for the law. When I got home, he was in the garage, tinkering with a small device. "A camera," he said, "for security. If Damien shows up, we'll have proof," he explained, like it was a school project. Proof. This wasn't just a husband revenge story. It was my son rewriting the rules. Then, another twist. Emily called, her voice trembling. "Nate, I messed up. Damien, he's not who I thought. He took everything." "Everything?" I laughed. Bitter. "You mean like you took Lucas's college fund?" She sobbed. "I thought we'd start over. I was wrong. Please, let me come home." Home. The word felt like a slap. I glanced at Lucas, who was listening, his face blank. "You're not welcome here," I said, hanging up. Lucas nodded, but his silence scared me. What was he planning? That night, Damien called again. "You think your kid's smart? I'm smarter. Back off, or you'll regret it." My hands shook, but Lucas grabbed the phone, hitting record. "Say that again," he said, his voice steady. Damien laughed. "You're dead, kid." Lucas hung up, uploading the call to his encrypted drive. "Now we've got him," he said. I stared, my heart racing. This wasn't just a cheating wife story anymore. It was a war, and my son was the general. I tried to talk to him, to pull him back. "Lucas, this is too much. You're a kid." He looked at me, his eyes older than they should be. "I'm not a kid, Dad. Not after her. Emily. The mother who'd left him to clean up her mess." I wanted to hug him, but he turned back to his tablet, shutting me out. I'd lost my wife to a wife affair exposed, and now I was losing my son to his own brilliance. The next morning, I found a note on the kitchen counter. Not Emily's handwriting, but Lucas's. "Don't worry, Dad. I've got this." Got this? My blood ran cold. I searched the house. His tablet was gone, his backpack missing. I called his school absent. Panic clawed at me. Where was he? Had Damien gotten to him? I called the police, my voice breaking. "My son's missing. He's 10 and he's after a criminal." Hours later, Lucas walked in, unharmed, his backpack slung over one shoulder. "I'm fine," he said before I could yell. "Check your email." I opened my laptop, hands shaking. An anonymous tip had hit the Seattle PD's inbox. Damien's location, his car's license plate, a live feed of him meeting a shady contact in a warehouse. Lucas had tracked him alone. "How?" I whispered. He shrugged. "I borrowed a drone from school. Easy." I wanted to scream, to ground him for life, but pride stopped me. My son had done what I couldn't, turned a true cheating story into a takedown. But his eyes, cold and distant, haunted me. "You can't do this again," I said. He didn't answer, just went to his room. The rain kept falling, and I wondered if I was saving my son, or losing him to the darkness Emily's betrayal had unleashed. The Portland sky was heavy with clouds, mirroring the weight I carried as I watched Lucas tinker with his drone in the garage. His small hands moved with precision, attaching a tiny camera, his face unreadable. 2 weeks had passed since he'd tracked Damien with a stolen school drone, sending the police a live feed that pinned the conman in a Seattle warehouse. Damien was in custody, charged with fraud and theft, and Emily was a ghost, Her calls had stopped, her social media silent. This cheating wife story should have ended there, with justice served and our lives moving forward. But it didn't. Lucas's cold determination haunted me, a reminder that Emily's betrayal hadn't just broken our family. It had reshaped my son into something I barely understood. I tried to reach him. Over breakfast, I'd ask about school, his robotics club, anything to pull him back to being a kid. He'd answer in monosyllables, his eyes on his tablet, always working on something, code, maps, plans I wasn't privy to. "You don't have to fix everything, Lucas," I said one morning, setting down his pancakes. He glanced up, his gaze sharp. "Someone has to." The words stung. I was his father, the architect of our life, yet I'd let Emily burn it down. Now, my 10-year-old was picking up the pieces, and I was terrified of what it was costing him. Claire, my lawyer, called with updates. "Damien's pleading guilty," she said. "The evidence your son gathered, it's airtight. Emily's facing charges, too, for the college fund theft." I exhaled, relief mixing with dread. "Will she go to jail?" Claire paused. "Maybe. She's cooperating, but the DA's not happy. She's broke, Nathan. Damien drained her accounts. Broke. Emily, who'd traded her family for a new life, had nothing left. Part of me wanted to gloat. This was the husband revenge story I'd imagined, but it felt hollow. Lucas didn't need a villain to hate. He needed a mother who hadn't abandoned him. I checked the news. Damien's arrest was local gossip, a Reddit thread blowing up with comments about cheating stories and wife betrayal confession. Someone had leaked Lucas's role, an anonymous kid genius who'd outsmarted a criminal. I panicked, shutting down the thread with Claire's help. Lucas didn't need fame, he needed safety. But he'd already seen it. "They're calling me a hero," he said, showing me his tablet. His voice was flat, like the praise meant nothing. "You are a hero," I said, forcing a smile. He shook his head. "I just did what you wouldn't." That cut deep. I'd been too slow, too trusting, too weak. Emily's affair wasn't just a wife affair exposed. It was my failure as a father, pushing Lucas to fight battles he shouldn't have. I took him to therapy, hoping it'd help. The counselor, Dr. Ellis, was kind but blunt. "Lucas is brilliant, but he's suppressing trauma," she said after their first session. "He's internalized your wife's betrayal as his responsibility. He needs you to show him it's okay to feel." Lucas hadn't cried since Emily left. Neither had I. Maybe we were both broken. Then, a twist I didn't see coming. A letter arrived, no return address, just my name in Emily's familiar scrawl. I hesitated, then opened it. Her words were messy, ink smudged. "Nathan, I'm in a shelter. Damien lied, took everything. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but Lucas is my son, too. Let me see him. I'm clean now, trying to fix this." "Clean? Fix this?" I laughed, bitter, and tossed the letter in the trash. Lucas didn't need her promises. She'd stolen his future, left him to face Damien's threats. But doubt crept in. Was I punishing her or protecting him? I didn't tell Lucas about the letter, but he knew. Of course he did. "She wrote you," he said that night, not looking up from his drone. I froze. "How?" He tapped his tablet. "I hacked her email. She's in Tacoma, not Portland. She's lying about the shelter. She's with some guy." My stomach churned. Another lie. Another man. This wasn't just a cheating wife story. It was Emily rewriting her betrayal with every breath. "What do we do?" I asked, hating that I was asking my son. He shrugged. "Nothing. She's irrelevant." Irrelevant. The word chilled me. Emily was his mother, not a bug to squash. I tried to talk to him, to soften the edges he'd built. "Lucas, she's still your mom. You don't have to forgive her. But hating her, it'll hurt you." He looked at me, his eyes older than mine. "I don't hate her. I don't feel anything." That was worse. My son, who'd once hugged Emily like she was the sun, had turned her into a data point. I'd lost her to a toxic relationship story, but I was losing him to something colder. The next day, I got a call from the police. Damien had flipped, giving up names, associates, scams, even Emily's role. She was his accomplice, the detective said. Helped him move money. Knew it was dirty. Accomplice. Emily wasn't just a cheating wife caught. She was a criminal, tangled in Damien's web. They had enough to charge her, but she'd vanished. If she contacts you, let us know, the detective said. I nodded, but my mind was on Lucas. Had he known this too? I confronted him that evening. Did you know about Mom and Damien's scams? He was in the garage, calibrating his drone, the hum filling the silence. Yeah, he said, not looking up. I found their emails. She thought she was investing our money. Our money. Lucas's college fund, his dream, reduced to a conman's hustle. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. He stopped, his hands still. You try to save her. You always do. The truth hit like a fist. I had saved her. Through her late nights, her lies, her distance. And it had cost us everything. Here's where it gets messy. Emily showed up at midnight, banging on the door. I opened it, stunned. She looked wrecked. Hair matted, clothes wrinkled, eyes wild. Nathan, please, she begged, her voice raw. I'm in trouble. They're after me. They? Damien's crew? The police? I didn't know. Lucas appeared behind me, his tablet in hand, recording. Get out, he said, his voice like ice. Emily flinched. Lucas, baby, I'm your mom. He didn't blink. You're nothing. I pulled her inside. Not for her, but to keep Lucas from doing something reckless. Talk, I said. She collapsed on the couch, sobbing. Damien set me up. I thought he loved me. I gave him everything, our savings, my accounts. Now his guys want me dead. Dead. The word echoed. This wasn't just an emotional cheating story. It was a true crime confession unfolding in my living room. You stole from Lucas, I said, my voice low. You left us. She shook her head. I was going to pay it back. I swear. Lucas stepped forward, holding up his tablet. You're lying. I have your bank records. You spent his money on hotels, jewelry, a car. Emily's face crumpled. How do you have that? Lucas didn't answer, just pressed play. A video. Emily and Damien, laughing in a penthouse, toasting with champagne. To freedom, she said on the screen. Freedom. While Lucas and I scraped by, she'd celebrated. I turned to her, rage boiling. Get out. Now. She grabbed my arm. Nathan, they'll kill me. Let me stay. For Lucas. For Lucas? I laughed, sharp and hollow. You don't get to say his name. Lucas spoke, his voice steady. I called the police. They're 3 minutes out. Emily's eyes widened. You betrayed me? Lucas stared back. You betrayed us first. The police arrived, cuffing Emily as she screamed, I'm your mother. Lucas watched, unmoved, as they took her away. I wanted to feel triumph, but all I felt was loss. Divorce after cheating was one thing. Watching my son orchestrate his mother's arrest was another. The detective patted Lucas's shoulder. Smart kid. You saved us a lot of work. Lucas nodded, but his eyes were empty. Days later, Claire called. Emily was charged fraud, theft, conspiracy. She'd likely get years. Damien's crew was rounded up, thanks to Lucas's data. The college fund was gone, but Claire was fighting to seize Damien's assets. It wasn't enough. Nothing would be. I started a new fund for Lucas, small but growing, fueled by my firm's profits and donations from friends. Lucas didn't care. Money's just numbers, he said, tinkering with his drone. Dr. Ellis warned me again. Lucas needs to process this, Nathan. His intelligence is a shield, but it's isolating him. I tried. I took him to the park, to movies, to robotics fairs. He'd smile, but it never reached his eyes. One night, I found him in the garage, staring at a photo of us. Me, him, Emily from happier days. Do you miss her? I asked. He didn't answer, just put the photo down and went back to his drone. Months passed. The news faded, but Lucas didn't. He won a national coding competition, his name in papers, but he shrugged it off. I rebuilt our life, new clients, a stronger firm. a community that rallied around us. But every night, I'd watch Lucas in the garage, his drone humming, and wonder, was he healing or hardening? Emily sent one letter from prison. Tell Lucas I love him. I didn't. He'd made his choice. I stood in the garage one evening watching him work. You don't have to fix everything, Lucas, I said. He paused, his hands still. I don't know how to stop. His voice was small, the first crack I'd seen. I knelt beside him, my heart aching. Then let me help. He nodded, just once, and we sat there, the drone's hum filling the silence. This cheating wife story didn't end with a win or a loss. It ended with a boy too smart for his own good, and a father learning to catch up. I don't know if Lucas will forgive, or if he'll carry this coldness forever. But I'll fight for him, like he fought for us. What would you do if your child outsmarted a criminal but lost their heart? Hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Viora for more stories that leave you questioning. Let's talk below.